Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by John Lovich, of the jack of all trades of all, football, basketball, and now track. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Casey?
Good, man. So kind of just talk about like how track season's going. I know, I think you picked up your first win in 7 years.
Yeah, last Tuesday against Heartland, we beat them, our first dual meet win in, like you said, 6-7 years. It's been a while. So yeah, it was definitely a cool moment and stuff like that. And you can see the team kind of rounding into shape from a couple of years ago when around this time we were kind of figuring out that we weren't that good and stuff like that. And now you can see the big influx and the amount of people running track from the different sports, the dual sport athletes joining the team now. And I don't know, we're kind of building into a competitor because the weekend before at Lansing Catholic, we got I think it was third out of 10 teams or something like that. So yeah, we're building the competitor now, dynasty. So
Yeah. So just how has this year been going? Just just being out there knowing that it's kind of the last time you're gonna do this.
Yeah. Well, it's been going good. I mean, I'm pushing for states in the hurdles. That's obviously the ultimate goal and stuff like that. And so every week it's just kind of nice to see PRs after PRs and stuff like that. So I don't know, I've been running good and stuff like that. And I don't really think of it as my last time going out there and competing yet. It hasn't really set in. But I think definitely when we get later in the year and stuff like that, if I'm not hit my times and stuff like that, it's definitely going to start to set in that the timer's ticking, I guess.
So what's it like jumping over a hurdle?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that, but I don't know. At first, it's definitely super scary when you first start doing it. You don't know what you're doing, and it's intimidating because they're tall. But then once you start getting the hang of it, it's addicting, doing the technique and stuff like that. And it's a very gratifying feeling jumping over hurdles. So it ropes you in. At first, you're not very sure about it, and then by the end, you always want to do one more hurdle. So that's at least how I feel about it. So yeah.
Overall, how do overall, how do you think basketball went for you?
I think we did pretty good. We didn't win a district, which was kind of our goal was to make it to regionals, maybe even a regional championship. But we just so happened to get an unlucky draw with how the playoffs worked, and we ran into a really good Fenton team pretty early in technically the first round. So I think they ended up making it to regionals. I don't know if they won a game, but it's kind of just unfortunate that it happened that way. I don't know. We're definitely gonna have a good team next year. I'm excited to see what the guys do, but yeah, I guess that's all I can say on it.
Yeah. So, going back to track, what events do you do?
So I run the 110 hurdles, the 300 hurdles, and the 4x4. So yeah.
How is relay racing different from what the other two races that you do?
It's definitely less stressful, especially because I run the second or third leg typically, which is usually where you put your slow people. So there's not a lot of pressure on me, if that makes sense. And it's just relieving that, having to worry about, oh, I have to execute this, I have to execute that. It's more just, well, especially something like the 400, you just grab the baton and go. And it's well, I'm just going to try and do the best I can. So it's definitely a lot less pressure, if that makes sense, compared to individual events. So
you only have, I think, a few more days, a few more weeks left of school overall. Has it kind of sunk in that it's you're going to be done?
Definitely not. It's definitely set in more the last week, but it feels kind of surreal. I feel like I still have a couple months left and whatnot, but I only have 15 more days, well, 14 now, of actual school left. So yeah, it hasn't sunk in, but I definitely think once Senior Survivor Week next week gets going, and then prom, not next week, but the week after, once those start coming, I think it's gonna really hit that it's all gonna be wrapping up. So
yeah. I know you probably, I'm not sure if you can answer this question yet, but what are you going to most remember about your time at Howell, just overall?
Uh, Definitely the time spent with my teammates and my coaches over all the sports and stuff like that. Because, like you said, I played three different sports every single year since sophomore year. I've been playing varsity in three different sports, so it's being with the same coaching staff year after year, season after season. Definitely start to build like a connection with them, and that's definitely what I'm gonna remember most is the relationships and just the time spent with all those people. So yeah,
And have you decided where you're going to head next? And I know you're not continuing athletics, but where are you going to
yeah.
continue your college? Where are you going to go to college?
I'm going to Michigan State University. So yeah,
Do you know what you're going to study and all that?
uh, probably supply chain management as of right now, but we'll see how that turns out. That's up for debate right now. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
John, thanks so much for coming on, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you, Casey.